Boom. Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking Bitcoin miners, the OGs, and some of our favorite stocks in the market. In the wake of the volatility that we've been seeing in Bitcoin over the past few days, it makes perfect sense that we're seeing some very exciting price action and volatility in Bitcoin mining stocks as well. So I'm excited to take a look at a few of these guys today. Let's get straight into it. As always, we'll quickly go over the topics we're going to be discussing, and then we'll dive in front of us. You guys know the rules. Trading View, where we'll cover the following names today in this order going down the watch. So you can see right here, kicking it off with not RIOT, although that is in front of us. We got to kick it off today with Bitcoin, you guys, because ultimately the price action of Bitcoin will heavily dictate that of Bitcoin mining stocks like RIOT, MARA, and BTBT, which are the three Bitcoin miners we're going to be taking a look at today after Bitcoin. So the OGs, many of you may know them as the King and Queen, RIOT Blockchain and Marathon Digital, both really keeping up with each other today, closing the day out about 4.5%. Both seeing pretty strong days, but tapering off over the course of the day, as did much of the equity markets. But we will close it out with definitely a name that after the past couple of days, I'd be surprised if you guys weren't familiar with. I've personally been trading this one myself, traded it super well today. Very proud of that. That's pretty rare that I catch trades that well, especially day trades at that. Many of you guys know I'm not a day trader. I'm more of a swing trader, but this day trade was just asking for it, and you guys will understand why that is as we dive into the charts. But BTBT or bitdigital has actually been a stock that I haven't talked about much on the channel. I think maybe once or twice before in a crypto convo, a month, maybe 2 months back at this point. But BTBT, obviously, you guys know, I believe on Monday or Tuesday, Monday actually, because Monday this thing doubled. It was up over 100% in a single day. Yesterday crashed, corrected, I should say, over 30%, and today it's up another 35%. So this stock, you guys, this is the volatility that I love to see. This is the rough waters that the Waves family thrives in. Feels so good to see this volatility back, and yeah, it's exciting to cover plays like this. It is dangerous, you guys, so of course, always stay on your toes, especially if you're trying to trade these. This is like sometimes you're trying to catch a falling knife with these guys, but very exciting to talk about regardless. And again, I just love to see all the volume that we're currently seeing in the crypto sector. Not only cryptocurrencies themselves, but again, crypto related stocks like RIOT, MARA, and BTBT. So again, BTC, RIOT, MARA, and BTBT are the four charts that we're going to be taking a look at today. Again, we're going to be focusing not only on any specific time horizon. I'm just going to kick it off short, and then we'll go longer until I feel like I've talked to you guys about the appropriate price targets on some of the trend lines that I'm personally taking a look at, okay? So again, those are the charts we're going to be looking at today. In terms of articles, I have one that I want to share with you guys, a little older, but I feel like it's very relevant for this video. I've actually been wanting it to share this with you guys for the better part of 10 days because this, as of today, as of July 28th, was released 11 days ago. So at this point, as considering how fast the crypto markets move, this is a super dated article, but it's actually not, you guys, because a lot of the fundamentals in here, especially when it comes to the long-term fundamentals surrounding Bitcoin mining companies, specifically US-based Bitcoin mining companies, of which all three we're going to be looking at are US-based Bitcoin mining companies. This news article is a little lengthy, not super lengthy. It'll probably take like 2 minutes to read through, but I think it's very important and I definitely want to share it with you guys. And it could not be more appropriate to share for this video titled "How the US Became the World's New Bitcoin Mining Hub." Okay. So we'll go over some statements here. A few highly regarded individuals in the industry. I believe Marathon Digital CEO has a few quotes in this as well. So we will kick off the video by reading through this. As always, you guys, set the fundamental groundwork for our bull argument. Again, especially when it comes to the long-term fundamental potential of some of these Bitcoin miners, US-based Bitcoin miners that we're going to be talking about. This information will hold relevant and will hold true for a very long time now, okay? And you could even say, as we read through this, that this is just the beginning for US Bitcoin miners, all right? So we will kick it off with this after, once again, we establish those strong fundamental arguments. We will dive into the charts and keep it technical for the rest of the video. As always, before we dive in, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you're excited about all of the volume that we're seeing back in the crypto sector. It's always fun. It's always exciting to talk about these names. We've kind of built the Waves, like the Waves fam. A lot of you guys, I imagine, came around during the RIOT and MARA days when those were popping off. As many of you know, It's been a hard few months, but that's okay. That's just the nature of the markets. That's how markets work. Gives the strong hands opportunities to accumulate their positions at more reasonable targets, okay, and at more reasonable price ranges, all right? So let me know in the comments down below if you were part of that group, if you joined the Waves fam during the Riot Mara days. Those days aren't over. Again, you guys, it just works in cycles. That's the nature of the markets. So let me know if you guys are bullish on Mara. Again, please give the video a like if you enjoyed this video, if you're bullish on the crypto sector as of right now. Let me know if you're bullish, bearish, short term. Always interested to see what your guys' take on the short term is in the comments down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, want to catch more content like this, want to follow the crypto journey, want to keep up with the charts, appreciate it if you guys stick around. And of course, last but not least, please check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter. First link down in the description. 15 bucks a month if you guys want a complete breakdown of my entire portfolio that I do update every single trading day during market hours. So a complete breakdown of my entire personal portfolio, every single position, call options, put options, stock positions, cryptocurrency positions, and I do update that once again every single trading day during market hours with the trades I made that day. And I also send out the complimentary email newsletter explaining my thoughts, rationalizing my trades to you guys, and just letting you guys know anything I think is important and want to share with you guys during actual market hours, okay? So once again, 15 bucks a month or 40 bucks for every 3 months, to each their own. That's completely up to you if you do want to sign up. And again, you get the portfolio breakdown in the course curriculum. You get the new daily newsletter PDF. As soon as I send that out, I also upload it to the course curriculum, and you also get the exclusive Sunday stock watches. So same thing as all the other Sunday stock watches. Still record a video just like this, upload it to YouTube on Sundays, but it's just a private link, and you can only get that link through the newsletter every Sunday as well, okay? So always do my best to make this as worth it for you guys as can. Really appreciate it if you guys check it out. But if not, as always, no worries at all. I appreciate your time right now. Let's dive into the charts after reading through this article. So key points. The U.S. is the second biggest mining destination on the planet, accounting for nearly 17% of all the world's Bitcoin miners. Prior to Beijing's sudden crackdown, China's mining dominance had already begun to slip. Marathon Digital's Fred Thiel expects most new miners relocating to North America to be powered by renewables or gas that is offset by renewable energy credits, similar to what Tesla does. You guys can go look that up if you want to. We're not going to get super deep into that now, but that is focusing on green energy, and you guys know around these parts we do like us some green energy. So especially when it comes to Bitcoin miners and the optics surrounding Bitcoin miners and renewable energy and just green energy and green practices in the process of Bitcoin mining, okay? So, well before China decided to kick out all of its Bitcoin miners, they were already leaving in droves, and new data from Cambridge University shows they were likely headed to the United States. The US has fast become the new darling of the Bitcoin mining world. It is the second biggest mining destination on the planet, accounting for nearly 17% of all the world's Bitcoin miners as of April 2021. That's a 151% increase from September of 2020. Quotes, for the last 18 months, we've had a serious growth of mining infrastructure in the U.S., said Darren Feinstein, founder of BlockCap and Core Scientific. Quote, we've noticed a massive uptick in mining operations looking to relocate to North America, mostly in the U.S., of course. This data doesn't include mass mining exodus out of China, which led to half the world's miners dropping offline. And experts tell CNBC that the U.S. share of the mining market is likely even bigger than the numbers indicate. According to the newly released Cambridge data, just before the Chinese mining ban began, the country accounted for 46% of the world's total hash rate, an industry term used to describe the collective computing power of the Bitcoin network. That's a sharp decline from 75.5% in September of 2019, and the percentage is likely much lower given the exodus underway now. Quote, 500,000 formerly Chinese miner rigs are looking for homes in the U.S., said Marathon Digital's Fred Thiel. If they're deployed, it would mean North America would have closer to 40% of global hash rate by the end of 2022. So, again, this is the rest of what we're going to read, and I'll just give you guys my bird's eye viewpoints as we dive into the charts, okay? So, America's rising dominance is a simple case of luck meeting preparation. The U.S. has quietly been building up its hosting capacity for years. Before Bitcoin miners actually started coming to America, companies across the country made a gamble that eventually, if adequate infrastructure were in place, they would set up shop in the U.S. That gamble appears to be paying off. Get it, you guys, okay? So, again, you guys, this is very, very good news. Most of you heard, and this was a lot of people when the China news came out, when the news regarding the CCP kind of pretty much shutting down all Chinese-based Bitcoin miners came out. a lot of people were unsure about how this would impact the price. In terms of Bitcoin, this did have a negative impact on Bitcoin because people weren't sure how this would affect the network directly, okay? But for Bitcoin miners like RIOT, US-based Bitcoin miners to be more specific, like RIOT, like Mar, like BTBT, they didn't really know how to react to this news because at this point in time, even still, I mean, I should say the more I think about it, but at the time when the news initially came out, again, about 2 weeks ago now, I was unsure how to process this and how this would actually, from a long-term perspective, impact plays like RIOT, Mar, and BTBT. But considering these Chinese miners are probably going to want to start selling their mining rigs to plays like to companies like RIOT Blockchain, like Marathon Digital, like bitdigital, that's a lot of miners that they need to get off their hands, and at this point it's going to the highest bidder, and the highest bidder might not be that high. The highest bid in this case, because they have to just release so much inventory, probably won't be that high, okay, aside from shipping and stuff, because supply chains are just super whacked out right now. But that aside, there's a lot of miners, as Marathon Digital CEO said, looking for a new home. That home of which is likely going to be one of these three. And of course, the more miners you have, the more mining power, the more hash rate you have, the more Bitcoins you can ultimately mine. Bitcoin looking pretty promising right now. Again, we'll dive into the charts. I'll talk to you guys about why this could either be the day of reckoning or the day of reigniting the thrusters to the overall rally as we dive in. But just to summarize, again, this article right here, I do think that this China exodus is bullish news long term for, I should say, the exodus of Chinese mining rigs most specifically. Again, is bullish news for plays like RIOT, Mara, and BTBT, especially when you take the long term into account. Okay, so that is bullish fundamentally, especially from a long term perspective. Let's talk technicals. Again, short and focusing more on the short and medium term, maybe going as much as like a month or so out, okay? And even that's a little more medium term, but medium to long term. You guys get what I'm saying, all right? So Bitcoin, as of right now, from a shorter term perspective, following the breakout of this red line right here, breakout of shorter term support beginning at the beginning of July, broke out. Since then, we have pretty much gone absolutely parabolic. Not parabolic, but seen a very, very incredible rally, especially considering we've pretty much seen nothing for the better part of a couple of months now. Very, very incredible rally from a short-term perspective. Higher highs, higher lows, boom, high, low, higher high. I imagine just from a technical perspective right now, Bitcoin is probably going to base out at a higher low. I'd imagine it comes down to about 38.2, 38.3, establishing that low in the very short term, ultimately before coming up to test this purple line of resistance, which again will determine, in my personal opinion and the opinions of pretty much every technical trader who's trading Bitcoin, as to whether or not we are going to be pulling back more and just continuing the overall downtrend, because it's important to understand that we are still in an overall long-term downtrend, all right? And again, as we zoom out, that'll make sense. Or if we break above this, if we do close a daily candle, that will be my tell above this purple line of resistance, at which point we'll be 43,000. Just to sum this up, if we can close a daily candle at $43,000 or above in BTC, I'm flipping bullish, and I think the thrusters are about to ignite again, and we will see a pretty elongated rally and a reignition once again of this long-term overall uptrend, all right? So let's zoom out, talk about some potential price targets here as we zoom out. But again, as far as the short term is concerned, this is really the only one that I'm looking at personally. Okay, so boom, Bitcoin's all-time high on April 13th at about $65,000. Touch point here on the way down, creating Bitcoin's overall line of resistance on its current downtrend. This purple line, very, very significant. Let's turn that red because it should be red because it's so significant. Again, at this point in time, play it safe just to make sure there's no bull traps. 43,000, even safer, 44,000. If we break 43,000, I'm bullish. If we break 44,000, especially 45, like at 45,000, I'll pretty much be convinced that we are going to resume the overall uptrend from a long-term perspective, okay? If we do break that uptrend, I think it's entirely possible that Bitcoin goes on to test what was previously support. Once the support was broken, a lot of you guys know this is when I liquidated for the first time in my crypto trading career a lot of my Bitcoin Ether Chainlink positions, was when Bitcoin broke this overall line of support. Because once overall support is broken, which is at about 50K in mid-May, that is usually a sign that we're probably going to see some downside ahead and an elongated period of time of capitulation, which has been the past couple of months now, okay? So again, if Bitcoin does break above $43,000, super conservatively $45,000, it would make perfect sense to me to once again come up TA 101, retest this very significant line of previous support, use it as new resistance. Say this happens September 1st. I think a lot of my targets for Riot and Mar are on like September 3rd or something. So just go early September. That could take us to a $72,000 Bitcoin, $73,000 Bitcoin. Conservatively 72K, conservatively 70K, $70,000 plus Bitcoin over the coming month or so. How likely is that? Not very likely in my personal opinion, because I do still believe there's the potential, because in the Discord group, I've been talking to a lot of guys in the Discord group about this and just kind of in personal conversations. This still sketches me out a bit. So again, that's a very optimistic scenario, seeing 70,000 in a month following this long period of time of capitulation. That'd be awesome. I'd be stoked to see that, especially with Ether and stuff. With the London hard fork coming up for Ether, I think that's a very strong fundamental catalyst. So I wouldn't be completely surprised to see that. But as a betting man, it would make, I mean, I don't know, man. It's really tough to say at this point. It's all dependent on this. I don't even want to put, like, I'm not confident enough in what's going to happen to say anything with confidence. So I will, however, be keeping a very, very, very close eye on this red line. Again, the overall line of resistance, which is around $43,000. If we do happen to use that as successful resistance, I think it's very likely, no matter what, we will see this as resistance. If we struggle to get above this for a while, I think it's likely that we will come back down. And again, you guys, we still need to see that reversion to the mean, which is the revisit of the initial high. That's going to be at least at $25,000. The market, the macroeconomic environment is different than it's ever been. Maybe in this case it doesn't happen, but we're definitely seeing volume come back. We're seeing volatility pick back up, and again, you guys, just stay on your toes when it comes not only to Bitcoin but the miners as well. So speaking of the miners, let's dive into Riot. So Riot, just earlier this week on that big move up, did once again gap. We talked about this on Monday, but did gap right above this red line here. Very significant line of resistance, gap straight above that, as well as this shorter term line of resistance, of which I did erase that trend line because I felt it was irrelevant. But at this point in time, considering Bitcoin is down about 1.5% in the past hour or so, we're going to have to see what Bitcoin does. Again, if Bitcoin pulls back a few percent, obviously it's likely that Riot, Mar, BTBT, all Bitcoin related stocks are going to pull back tomorrow on Thursday as well. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the equity markets tomorrow, you guys. Robinhood IPOs tomorrow, just throwing that out there. Robinhood, similar to Riot and Mar, also very close to the hearts of the Waves fam. So, got to pick up at least a share of Robinhood on the IPO just for the culture. I don't like trading IPOs. They're especially Robinhood, like arguably the most sus IPO of the year. There's many adjectives. There's many strong adjectives to describe what the Robinhood IPO is to retail investors. But just keep an eye out for that. But again, that will also have just kind of an overall blanket impact on the equity markets, especially high-risk stocks, high-risk sectors, and obviously the crypto sector does fall under risk-on sectors, all right? So just keep that in mind as well. Just wanted to throw that out there real quick. Anyway, Riot, as far as short-term potential, wouldn't be surprised to see it come up. It did successfully test this previous line of support as new resistance, again, perfectly twice on that move up. Yesterday pulled back in the wake of Bitcoin pulling back as well, but again, volatility is here. So today we saw that nice 4% gain. Because Bitcoin is down right now, I'm just going to assume, just for the sake of this conversation, and maybe this is different by the time I post this, but the fact that Bitcoin is going down right now, maybe we're down like 3% by tomorrow morning, it would make sense that Riot is going to come back down. It also makes sense that Riot would form somewhat of a little bull flag. So bull flag, obviously parabolic move up. Let's make this one purple just because it's a bull flag. It could play out either way, but boom, you guys kind of see what I'm seeing here. It would make sense to me that Riot bases out around its low yesterday, which is around $30. $30, of course, being a psychological even as well. Comes down here, plays out this bull flag. If Bitcoin continues its way down, its ride down, then I think Riot is just going to be on its way back down to retest this previous line of resistance as new support again. Could take us down to like $25 by early August. But if it does play out the bull flag, if Bitcoin rips, next target I would be looking at, keep a close eye on, again, this previous line of support as new resistance. If it breaks this green line right here, which again is new and very significant resistance, if it breaks like the $36 level over the coming week or so, I'd be looking for a lot more upside. If we do see more upside, I'm going to be using the line of long-term support as new resistance to create my target on August 31st, just pretty much by September. If all goes absolutely perfectly, I would say, over the month of August, because we're pretty much there already. And also, earnings for Riot is August 7th. That will definitely catalyze some move up because mining difficulty was having a scene there for a while in Q2, because Bitcoin obviously corrected a lot in Q2. I don't think Riot's earnings are going to be the most impressive. I think forward-looking statements could be. Same goes for Mara. Mara announces earnings on July 29th, I think. So that's, well, is that tomorrow? Or wait, what is? We'll take a look at it once we go here. But very, very soon. It might be tomorrow in all honesty. So that's definitely going to have an impact not only on Mara, but probably Bitcoin as well, if I'm being honest. So keep a close eye on earnings. Again, you guys, there's a lot of different things in play right now that you should be aware of if you're playing these stocks. All right. So maybe this bull flag plays out. Maybe we come back down. If the bull flag plays out, previous support, new resistance. Best case scenario for Riot, in my opinion, is going to be about $57 over the coming month or so. Let's take a look at Mara and then close it out with the crazy kid that is BTBT or bitdigital. All right, so Mara right now is breaking some pretty significant levels. Like this right here was a pretty significant level for Mara that it actually closed the day almost perfectly on. Again, previous ceilings, previous floors, like areas of support and resistance in the past, even if you're just drawing horizontal trend lines, definitely come into play right now, or definitely come into play at all times. Okay. So Mara, I mean, similar story, similar to Bitcoin, higher highs and higher lows in the short term, high, low, higher low. Maybe it makes sense to be on its way to a higher high. Mara, unlike Riot, has not yet tested the previous line of support as new resistance. You know what? You could actually kind of go like that. And in that case, it has. So you know what? We're going to go with that. We're actually going to go with that. I'm surprised I haven't seen that before. I apologize for that, you guys. A little lapse in vision. But you know what? That actually makes sense because this trend line does make more touch points here. This makes more sense, and we're going to go with this trend line. So, in fact, Mara did test this previous line of support as a new resistance. And it makes sense that now that's obviously going to be resistance. I'm going to need to see Mara break above that. If Mara breaks down, kind of same thing here, you guys. I actually don't have Mara's line of resistance on the downtrend in play. But, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's super stark. So we'll just go with, I mean, this one makes more sense right here. We'll go with that right there. Okay, I think that's, yeah, that makes sense because that's what I've been drawing. So so Riot, a lot of you guys know, and I forgot to just mention it, Riot's reversion to the mean, or like if it does go downside a lot, if Bitcoin does come down to like $25,000, Riot price target is going to be about $15. Mara price target is going to be 13 to 14. Riot 15 to 16, Mara 13 to 14, just because that's the nature of how Riot and Mara stock work. Trust me, been following them for a long time. But on the upside, okay, we're just going to stay optimistic here. If Bitcoin does break out, if Bitcoin does break $43,000, if Bitcoin gets up to $43,000, if it breaks out, if it breaks up to 45, I think a lot of traders are going to know that it's go time for Bitcoin-related stocks. And it would not surprise me at all to see Riot and Mara break back into their ascending channels. For Mara, I do think the first stop is going to be the top side of this shorter term ascending channel right here, the shorter term line of resistance, which would take us by like mid-August up to about $44. Now, Mara's previous line of support, because it had such a stark, like, Mara was weird, you guys, because Riot peaked out in like mid-February, and Mara peaked out in April, over a month later. A lot of you guys remember this, a lot of you guys were here, but this was an interesting time. Regardless, Mara's previous line of support and new resistance is way crazier. So I don't know what the likelihood of that is. This makes more sense to me. This is what I'm more comfortable talking about. So early September, if we test the top line of resistance on the shorter term ascending channel, that would take us to about a $48 to $50 marathon digital. All right. Best case scenario, which I think is highly unlikely, but hey, it would be fun to see, is going to be a $70 Mara if we do really test that previous significant line of support. Confirmed it as new resistance again over here as well. That would take us to $70 in the coming month. Again, that's pretty unlikely in my opinion, even in the best case scenario, unless Marathon gets acquired, which maybe we see that then, just go absolutely parabolic. But for now, conservatively, I will say if all things go well, if all things go pretty accordingly with Bitcoin, I would be surprised to see a $47 to $50 Mara. Let's close it out with BTBT and call it a day. Okay, so bitdigital. Again, you guys, look, this is insane. In one day, one trading day right here, this gap up, let's do a quick price range just to see exactly how high this one got. So from right here, to right shot. In a single day, BitDigital was up as much as 120% over the trading day. This volume as well was absolutely insane. You can see this right here. Like, this volume is unlike anything BitDigital has ever seen in its history, even during its highs way back here in February as well. BitDigital's all-time high was about $33. Right now, it's at $8. It's at under $8. And we're seeing way more volume than we've ever seen. That is usually a good sign of the beginning of a rally. As far as short term is concerned, this looks a little weird just because there's not much going on here. Technically, BitDigital is also setting higher highs and higher lows, just the most volatile, most extreme higher highs and lows I've ever seen. High, low, technically a higher high by like a couple of cents, just barely, but it's technically a higher high. It would make sense to me, like short term, again, maybe Bitcoin corrects a little bit tomorrow, for BitDigital to establish a lower low at the very most, probably down here around like 625. But it wouldn't surprise me if BTBT comes down to about 690, conservatively $7 one more time prior to like moving sideways a little bit, maybe making a little bull flag and then breaking out once again if Bitcoin does happen to break out. But I've had these targets going into this week. So yesterday, when BTBT corrected, I already have the price range here. So it corrected, about 40%. Okay, so yesterday, Tuesday, BTBT corrected about 40%. I was like, all right, I'll kind of double my position size. It's not a crazy big position size, but I love to see this kind of volume. BTBT ripped. The next day, it pulls back. It'll probably dead cat bounce at the very least. Picked up a solid little position, and that little position went a pretty damn long way. And honestly, shout out Portfolio Newsletter Group, I did cash some of that out today because I am, in all honesty, a little suspect on the entirety of the crypto markets right now until Bitcoin breaks those key levels that we just covered a little while ago. So took some profits. I felt it would be irresponsible to not. Of course, still holding some because I do still see some potential. But if BitDigital does come down here again, I would not hesitate to pick more up, especially if it comes down to this range over here from like $5 to $5.50. At $5.50, I'm 100% a buyer of BitDigital. Maybe that happens. Maybe we do make a weird like bull flag thing here again. But as of right now, BitDigital is looking appealing to me right now solely based off the fact that it's seen such a stark correction, over 85%, and along with the fact that it has a small market cap. I think it has a market cap now of like $400 million, just because it's over doubled since we last talked, like all pretty much doubled since the last time we talked about it. Significantly smaller than plays like RIOT and Mara, like 1/10, 1/8 the size of plays like RIOT and Mara. But so of course it takes less capital inflow, and again, this maybe compared to RIOT and Mara, this is like the same amount of volume you see in those. But I do like to see volume, again, more volume than we've ever seen, and that's usually a good sign that the capitulation phase is over, and that capitulation has been happening for a long time. In terms of upside levels, I'm just going to give you guys one like medium-term level that would play out by the end of the month. This is the perfect example of just looking at historical areas of support and resistance. Of course, like there will be areas like this right here that'll come into play, probably right here that'll come into play as well. But if we do see Bitcoin do well, it would not surprise me at all to see BitDigital come up to around $15. Psychological even as well. Spent a lot of time around here over the course of the rally and pullback. So $15 in the case that Bitcoin does pretty well for BitDigital, which would equate into about a 2x from just under a 2x from current levels, because obviously it's at $8. So that's BitDigital. This one's volatile. This one's for sure. If the trend continues, which I assume it will, this one is potentially the most promising or the most destructive of the three. So once again, stay on your toes if you're playing BitDigital, guys. A lot of potential gains here, a lot of potential losses as well. Be careful with calls, be careful with options. But as of right now, stock positions, especially if we see another little pullback, could seem very promising. Once again, you guys, if you do want to know exactly how I'm trading the names we discussed today, along with all of the other plays in my entire portfolio, EV, space plays, a lot of other plays I'm excited about at the moment, please check out actually earnings plays like retail, reopening plays. And there's a few that I just doubled down on today, if I'm being honest. So excited to see how those play out over the coming weeks. Still a lot of earnings to get excited about. So again, if you guys want to know exactly how I'm trading, what I'm trading, why I'm trading them, first link down below. $15 a month means a lot if you check it out. Again, I do put that's what the majority of my day consists of, is all that stuff, is like that behind the scenes stuff. The videos, of course, take time. It takes time to prep, and it takes time to set everything up and whatnot. But that actually consumes, as far as workload goes, this definitely consumes the majority of my workday. Okay, so again, it means a lot if you guys check it out. And yeah, as always, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the crypto market right now. Short term, bullish, bearish. You think we're reverting to the mean after we test 43K? You think we're blasting through 43K straight to 100K? Just let me know what you guys think. Always love talking shop with you guys, so I'll catch you downstairs. And until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.